Okay guys, in the last video I fixed the driver's master switch panel. All the door locks work, including the driver's door. The driver's was the only one that had a little sketch around it, and it turned out to be just a loose connection at the solenoid. So that all works. All the windows worked except this one. This is the driver's side rear window. I opened it up after, it took a little while because the previous owner, for some reason, JB welded, look at that, JB welded the door handle on, probably because he stripped out the threads here, which, anyway, so the harness for the window was in this state. It was just disconnected, but still didn't work. So I hooked up my 12-volt lead just to see whether or not the motor works, and the motor works, but what doesn't work is that it's not moving the gear in any direction. So that's going to be a bit of a pain. I can't see back here. I might try to get a mirror back there to see if the gear is stripped. And it's kind of, the whole thing is a blind task, which really sucks. You know, getting the motor out might not be too bad. There are only 4 bolts holding it, but the whole thing is a blind operation, and that really sucks. And I've taken one of these apart before on the inside of the door, and it took a long time to get it right. So I'm not looking forward to that. At least the window is in a closed position, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I might look at the mirror and see first. I figured out the mystery of the non-working window. So let me see if I can get this to show up on video here. So there's the gear, and what should happen is get a screwdriver. Yeah, we'll be able to see it move. Basically, the track, the plastic gear thing is broken. There's a brake here. You can kind of see it there. This part, this wheel, is supposed to be connected to a little track that goes at the top. And then there's at least one other brake in this track, because I can move this large segment while the bottom segment isn't moving. So with a vehicle, I looked in the box in the back, came this. So I'm assuming, no, not the light, dumbass, this. So I'm assuming that this should work. I have no idea how the hell I'm gonna take it out and put the new one in. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll still end up taking the motor out, because I think that's probably going to be the only way I'm going to be able to see anything. So you can see down there, you can see it better than I can. You can see here when I move this, so there's a brake right at the motor, and then that lower piece. So yeah, head scratching, sorry about that. That's the frequency of my LED. Kind of matches what we need to do here. Let me see. So I figured out how to take the track out. So facing the door, there's a piece of the broken track, as you can see, and all we have to do is push it to toward the front. And so the track channel goes, the track channel goes like this. It's connected up here. There's no end to it, so you can't put the track on. It goes down and up, and it terminates here, and I'll show you why that's important. It actually, see if you can peek in there, you can see that. See that? That T? That's the track. And so the way this works is that is supposed to slide onto that T. That, just like that. And so with this end up. So I'm going to take the old track out, compare the length to this, and hopefully it won't be that bad. Just a quick view of exactly what I mean. So here's the broken piece. I already took one out. So all you have to do is start, push toward the front of the vehicle, and keep pushing until basically this rail exits the T carrier that I showed you before. Sorry about the shakiness here. Keep going. So you can see, pretty rusty. It's probably been broken for a long time. I'm going to have to clean up the rail and re-lube it all, but I got one of the pieces out already. And yeah, anyway, so that's it. I'm encouraged. So the end of the track has this on it, and this will not pass the motor. So what I might do is just cut it up with a Dremel or something. If I can avoid taking off the motor, I'm afraid of, I don't know what's back there, so I don't want to loosen up any tracks or anything like that. There's, you know, set screws and shit, so I think I'm just going to cut it. Business short 30 seconds later. Just cut it off, cut one side off with technology's greatest gift to man, a cordless Dremel with a eat everything bit. Now it's a matter of cleaning up the tracks. As I mentioned, they need some lubing and de-rustification down there. And then I'll install the new one. Alright, so I did a little bit of looking with my hands because you can't really see anything, and it occurred to me that this whole window track, it's actually, there are no window tracks in these. The window channels are built in, so there's very little down here. There's no scissor mechanism or anything like that. So this whole thing is held to the door with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. I didn't have to take the motor out. There is a little bar down here. Looks like a Federal side impact abortion afterwards. So you have to take that out. 2 small Phillips screws, no big deal. And then, if you think a little bit, and it's hard sometimes, there's a way to get this whole thing out. That slot is important because of this bracket. You basically slide this whole thing over, tilt it up and out. So it's hard to demonstrate, but suffice it to say that it's out. I'm going to lube everything up, clean everything up, install the track out here, and test it all out, and then that's it. By the way, I said it in one of my other videos, these Bauer brand, I think, Harbor Freight LED lamps, Braun, sorry, really, really helpful. I mean, it's, I don't know, really helpful. Magnet's very strong. This one in particular, I use it all the time. It's awesome and worth every penny. And I don't care that it's Harbor Freight. Talk to you soon. Looks like, and for those of you, yeah, I'm not really editing any of these videos. This is more for my own how the hell does everything go back together purposes. But in case you're interested, this whole track is held to the motor mount with only 2 of these, and they are, what size? 1/4 inch, little 1/4 inch screws. So I'm going to take this off so that I can clean it out nicely, clean out the motor, lube everything up, put it back together. So I cleaned up the rust. This is where it was, and this is just discoloration. I went to town with one of these on the end of a Dremel, and then some 400 grit, lubed it all up with some Maui grease that I have, and reinstalled a new linear. So let me show you now how it works. It works pretty well. Suppose I should turn the power supply on. Nice and smooth. So I'm going to run it in a couple more times, and then that's it. It'll be ready to go back in the door.